Welcome back to JSU. We are going to wrap up the day with a big matchup between the Lynn Bears and also the Phil Campbell Bobcats. Tommy Wood, Gerhard Methengani, and Gerhard, it's been a great day of high school football. We've had several good matchups and a lot of good football here. Really the things we talk about when you talk about a spring game, these coaches are looking for players that can play. This last game, same situation.
Exactly. You want competition, and you want to see who you can rely on in the fall and really kind of get a good blueprint for what your team will look like from a leadership standpoint. And then from an X's and O standpoint, basically getting the basics that you want in. There's not a lot of time to get it all in, obviously, so you go to some of your staples, and it might look vanilla as far as the overall plays. You don't see a whole lot of trick plays here in the spring, but you will see a lot of players emerging, leaders emerging, and teams coming together. Yeah,
you're really focusing on the fundamentals for the first 9 days of practice. Then you try to put it all together in a spring game, and you want a quality opponent. These two teams, you've got Lynn. They were 5-5 last year under Coach Calvin Aldridge, and they're looking to make that next step. They want to get into the postseason, try to make some noise there. Phil Campbell, 2-8. Really a lot of uphill to go there, but they are trying to build that foundation under Coach Kevin Barnwell. And so you look at these two teams, this is a very big game, really, when you talk about the spring, because they want to use this to catapult them into the fall season.
Exactly, and both teams come from far away, so essentially the way they can treat this is like a playoff game. One of the playoff games, you have to go a long way on the road, get on the buses, get your mind right, and be able to switch the gears automatically, because Lynn came in prepared to play Coosa Christian. Phil Campbell came in here, and they filled the void in for Lynn, and being able to get both of these teams a game in here. So one of the things that you want to have is quick adjustments, and both teams will have that today.
Yeah, they're 26 miles away, but they came down here to play some spring football today as they're 26 miles between each other. Let's take a look at how our day has gone here. It started off Clay Central taking on Stanhope Elmore, and really the story of this game was defense. Led by Stanhope Elmore, they took advantage of a lot of mistakes by this Clay Central offense, had a big kickoff return. We saw Clay Central also very physical in this ball game as they were able to get some turnovers as well. But the biggest play right here, a bobble between the quarterback and the running back. It's picked up, and 86 yards later, Stanhope Elmore gets on the board. They lead early 7-0. And really the varsity from that point on, that was about the way that ended. They were able to get some in the second half when you talk about some of the JV action between the two teams. And the only touchdown for the Volunteers right here, Keeson Lindsay able to come down the sideline about 80 yards for a touchdown to get the Volunteers on the board. That is the only score for them. But you look at it, then the defense, the story of that ball game between Stanhope Elmore and Clay Central, as that was the way the day started. Then we come back in a game that you had, Gerhard, some big plays between Sparkman and Gardendale.
This is the second play of the game. Nick Sawyer going in for the touchdown run for Sparkman, and then Gardendale had some great plays themselves. A big interception here by the Senators, and we saw this is the backup quarterback, is Rue Ross, who had an up and down day, threw a couple of interceptions, but had some nice points as well. Gardendale's defense stepping up big here. We saw a lot of big plays in this game, but then really blanketed on the front end and then on the back end by big touchdowns. LT Sanders went in for the score there, and we saw some great kicking in our last game. We also saw some great kicking in this game as well. Big field goal there by the Senators, and able to get another touchdown on the JV unit. So in the first two games that we've had today, some solid offense and defense from the starters, and then some solid offense and defense from the JV guys as well. And then the last game that we just had moments ago, Springville and Dora had a day, and 3 quick touchdowns collectively by both teams, all by way of touchdown passes, and the defense really stepped up late. I think between the 6 teams that we've seen so far, lots and lots and lots to be proud of as they move forward into their 2019 campaigns. And speaking of 2019, that was the final score of this one between Dora and Springville.
Came down to a final stand there, but Pearson Baldwin really the star in that ball game for Springville, and only a junior this fall, and so Coach Michael Graben got to be pleased with the effort he gets from him. But I tell you what, Ikea Jose, also a big run for Dora to open up the second half, but the two coaches, hey, they meet at midfield after the ball game, and both with a lot to be proud of. The blocks are there. They've just got to build it before the fall. We've got more action coming your way. It's Lynn and Phil Campbell as they'll come in just a moment right here on TV 24.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Tim Hodges, Fred Wilson, Eli Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
I'll just be a minute.
What you just did with that clutch was so clutch. Just like when you ditched your old credit card and got the America's First credit card with a low interest rate and cash back on purchases.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99 and then bring it in for free refills throughout the year. That's right, free popcorn for a full year. Your locally owned and operated Grub Mart, in business for over 75 years.
Don't just dream it. Call Family Savings Credit Union. Right now, get something you want for as low as 2.24% APR. You can even apply online or by phone. Family Savings Credit Union, where your money grows with you and your family.
Final game of the day, Phil Campbell taking on the Lynn Bears here at Burgess-Snow Field. Tommy Wood, Gerhard Methengani, as we get set for this final game of the day. You talk about Lynn, they're in Class 1A Region 6, and they go 5-5 last year under Coach Calvin Aldridge as he goes into his 5th season at Lynn. And Coach Aldridge, knowing that this is a very big spring game for his troops as he tries to put things together and tries to get that team to make a postseason run. Phil Campbell, Coach Barnwell there, and as they start getting ready for this ball game here this afternoon. And again, 2-8 last year as Coach Barnwell comes in. And Gerhard, it has been a fun day of high school football, and you and I always talk about it. It's never a bad day. I know it's been warm, but, you know, we've gotten kind of a break for the most part. The clouds have rolled in and they kept the sun pretty much off of the fans, but I'm sure it's easy for us to say when we're kind of cool up here in the press box and the other folks are out there in the stands, but it could have been worse, I guess, is looking at the bright side. For
sure, and I think the good thing is that you kind of get a template of what it will be like during those first few weeks of not only fall camp when that starts in early August, but then also the first few games as well. You're dealing with heat timeouts. You're dealing with cramping and all of that. It kind of gets you acclimated to those conditions. That's one of the good things about living in Alabama in May. A lot of times it feels like August. Sometimes it feels like Los Angeles. But you have kind of that mix of mild and hot weather before it turns really hot and really humid. You have to deal with the conditions as the season moves along.
Coach is still meeting with the officials out here to get the I guess the format of this ball game. We understand obviously that this will be a 4-quarter game from the ones that we've had all day today. Now, how the coaches determine how long the varsities play, when the JVs come in, and how they're going to substitute. They kind of talk either during the week, but as we found out earlier, Coosa Christian unable to come earlier this week, so then Phil Campbell stepped in. These coaches may not have had a chance to really get together and talk about things that they're ironing out right now.
That's exactly right, and I think that's one of the biggest things as far as small schools especially. You want to have these things down really from every perspective, but definitely for small schools when you're already dealing with smaller or shorter numbers and smaller benches, so to speak. And so you might not have a chance to say, hey, we'll have freshmen go this and JV go this and your varsity starters go this. A lot of times one of those players are all in the same. A lot of these guys going both ways. So I think you take a lot of extra precautions when these situations arise. You don't want to overextend and overwork, but you do want to get adequate footage for the evaluation process of the game a little bit later. So those are all the details that are being ironed out right now at midfield.
Well, you talk about Lynn, 1A Region 6, region opponents Marion County, Pickens County, a team that consistently makes an appearance, it seems like, in the Super 7. Brilliant is in there as well, as long as Barry, as well in Hubbardville, another team in there. South Lamar and Meek for the Lynn Bears. And on the other side, Phil Campbell in the same region with Lexington, Clements, also Westminster Christian, Lauderdale County, East Lawrence, and Colbert Heights being in that Class 3A Region 8 as they get ready to battle here.
Phil Campbell looking to bounce back, as you said earlier, that they had those 2 wins last year, scored just under 200 points, had 199 points on the season, missed the playoffs, averaged about 19 points per game last year. It played a very, very tough region. Talk about the likes of Lauderdale County and Westminster Christian, Lexington and Clements and Colbert Heights, and obviously Westminster Christian went on to have a strong season last year, the best team in that region, going 11-1 and a couple of rounds in the playoffs. And so lots of big competition there for the Bobcats on the west side of Alabama, but it's good to have them here at JSU Stadium today.
Yeah, open up at Red Bay in the 2019 season. Looks like we are about set as the warm-ups are starting to wind down for Phil Campbell. And Lynn already on the sideline as they await the start of this ball game. Again, great day for high school football, and we appreciate all the sponsors and the crew taking care of us today, and what a tremendous job they've done, Gerhard.
For sure, and they do it all the time, and obviously for Jacksonville State opening their doors, JSU spring practice is already in the books, and so the field is ready for these high schoolers and being able to get some exposure on a big stage as far as the overall, dynamics of this field, this stadium and whatnot, and being able to come out here and get some experience before hitting the field in the fall. Got the Phil Campbell cheerleaders in the house and kind of a last-minute call-up for that crew as well.
Talk about this stadium. It's going to be a busy one this fall for JSU. Got some big opponents coming in here, some really big games, not only the OVC, but also you talk about some of the national caliber teams that are going to be coming in here to JSU, like Eastern Washington coming in this fall.
Yeah, Eastern Washington I think is going to be kind of the marquee game for JSU this year, and Eastern Washington is one of the teams that each and every year, kind of year in and year out, compete for the FCS National Championship. Jacksonville State obviously one of the teams that consistently in the top 10 as well. Coach Gross will come out with another strong group this year. A lot of offensive returners coming back, defensive returners coming back. Lose some on the defensive line, but when you have Zarek Cooper at quarterback and you have Josh Pearson, that wide receiver, you have a really, really strong mix there as far as weapons go. Talk about guys like Landon Rice and some of the other ones that emerged last season for the Gamecocks. And so this place should be one of the top places to watch college football games in America next year.
One thing, John Holder and I did a game earlier today, and we were talking about the situation, really high school football. You get the 9 days. Today is number 10. And it wasn't too long ago that pretty much your summers were kind of yours, optional and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Football has become a year-round activity, and it's one of those where, for example, Clay Central, they get 2 weeks off. They get the week of the 4th off, but other than that, it's 3 workouts a week. Mm-hmm. Pretty much those workouts do involve going out on the field and doing things like that. So you're talking about a commitment that these guys make, regardless of whatever team we're talking about. These guys are on the field today. It's not as if they play for a few weeks here and then they'll worry about it when it comes August. This is quite some dedication these guys have.
Well, team building is no easy task, and I think that we've seen all the great teams, all the teams that wind up playing in November and December, playing for state championships, all have that camaraderie, all have that team feel, all can adjust, and all that starts in practices in May, and then in June and July at 7-on-7 camps and lineman camps as well. And then you get into fall practice. So yeah, it has become a year-round sport, but that's what it takes to become a championship caliber team.
Lynn will start this game offensively. Brandon Hill, the quarterback, gives it off on the right side. Good little running room and bouncing it to midfield, 45-40, 35-yard line, 30, 25, and all the way inside the 20-yard line goes Micah Cagle as he will get the carry there. You look at the America's first replay of the game. He sheds one defender, picks up his blockers, and comes down the near side of the field. and will bring it into the 20-yard line. They'll mark him at the 19. That is the Blair Exteriors red zone. Of course, Blair Exteriors, the number to call, 205-717-9551. Call the ones who care. You can call Blair about all your windows, roofing, siding, and deck needs. First down and 10. This time, handoff up the middle to the 15-yard line and down to about the 11-yard line. On the carry for Lynn that time is number 8, and that is Carson Legg, as he will pick up a gain of about 9, second down and 1.
This game has a kind of a feel that the Sparkman game had earlier, a really quick strike offense by running the football once to the outside and then once to the inside. Seen a bunch of different styles of play from the teams that have played so far. Of the 6 teams that we've seen a lot of spread formation and some of the old school football like this.
Handoff on the right side, 10-5, and walking into the end zone is Campbell, as he will carry it in for the first score of the afternoon. 11-yard scamper for Lynn, and it's quickly 6-0 as the Bears take the early lead. You see the blocks on the inside, nobody home, and Cagle waltzes into the end zone.
They're going to call a flag here, and I think it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct on Cagle. And I think the only reason they are doing this is because he had the ball in the air.
Yep,
and
that's
he didn't necessarily taunt a specific player, but you can't do that going into the end zone, and the officials getting on top of that.
So that will be the procedure there. And the officials will discuss it. And
I don't know the letter of that rule as far as, because I've seen unnecessary dives into the end zone, and you see even things like that. Even we put the ball out or up. I think a lot of that is a judgment call.
Now here's a question: you normally assess that on the kickoff. How are we going to handle that today?
Yeah, that we'll find out after the simulated extra point here. Actually, they won't simulate it. They'll actually kick it here.
I believe it's Carson Legg.
Yeah.
Now we'll know that, you got Cagle there at running back. He's going to be able to get the football down on the tee, and the kick is up and not good. 6-0 our score. So you look at Lynn getting chunks of real estate as they come down this into the field and into the end zone. Cagle celebrating a little early, but still celebrating. 6-0 Lynn with an early lead.
When it comes to great tasting barbecue, nobody does it better than Dad's Barbecue. Dad's Barbecue is slow cooked to perfection, and Dad's menu now includes burgers, shakes, and delicious cheddar muffins. Large groups are always welcome, and Dad's does catering too. And Dad's offers fast, friendly service, and they're kid friendly. Dine in or drive through. Dad's Barbecue, family owned since 1985, with 2 locations in Anniston to serve you.
I got back my Smack Talk touchdown, hole-in-one, 3-point home run, hat-trick pavement pounding, record-setting goal across the finish line. Because Core didn't give up, I didn't give up. And I certainly didn't give in. I'm going to get back to doing what I love. I'm going to get back to winning.
So the penalty was assessed as part of the kickoff. And Phil Campbell will start at the midfield stripe, and after the first play, a gain of 5. They have it at the Lynn 45-yard line. So Phil Campbell trying to answer, as they do get 15 yards. And Luke Barnwell, the quarterback for the Bobcats. Quick pitch left side, trying to bounce out, and not a lot of running room, trying to cut it back in. But going to be stopped quickly on that. Let's try to get the number of the carrier there, as we are trying to make do with our rosters. I've got an 18 for Phil Campbell on the carry, but not on the roster. So we'll continue to try to find out some of these players, but a good look there for Lynn. And that's number 55, Evan Lamb, 6'4", going to be a junior next year, 6'4", 235.
It's a good-looking athlete there for Phil Campbell on the front of the defensive line.
Dropping back to pass. Barnwell going to roll out right side. Got some running room. Tucks it under. Goes to the corner. Splits a defender and dives for the first down as they mark him at the 40-yard line. And that should be good for first down yardage. Again, looking at the America's First replay, he just pretty much quarterback sweep all the way. Gets a little bit of a block, and he's able to dive across the 40-yard line. And that's good for an Extreme Roofing first down.
Taking advantage of the great field position here, the Bobcats. Nice way to move the chains, and we've seen some great quarterback play, especially quarterback runs over the course of the day, and here he is adding to it as Luke Barnwell.
So they'll mark it at the 40-yard line, first down and 10 for the Bobcats. High backfield back behind him. They'll run the option left side. Barnwell tucks it back under, and he will fight to about the 36-yard line. Gain of 4 on that play. As you look at Barnwell there. Once again, trying to chase down some numbers in this Phil Campbell lineup, but again, a couple of big plays in there by Evan Lamb for Lynn on that defensive front. Also Hunter Lloyd in there at tackle. Check that, Hunter Keaton, 6'1", 370 at the other tackle for Lynn, wearing number 65. High backfield, back behind Barnwell. Dropping back, looking in the flats, got his man, now throws it deep, wide open. Catch is going to be made at the 10-yard line, and down to the 5-yard line goes number 1. And a good catch there, deep in Lynn territory, just got behind the defense. And a good catch down there.
Busted coverage for the Bears early on, and he was streaking right down the backside on the backside hash marks. Number 1 is another one that we do not have on the roster that was provided to us earlier.
But they find their way back into the Blair Exteriors red zone. First down and 10 for Phil Campbell. Trying to get on the board themselves here, trailing 6-0. Motion man goes the far side. Barnwell, quarterback keeper, going to try to make a run toward the pylon. Going to be hit and dives into the end zone. Touchdown. That time just outran the defender. Got the shoulders turned and lunged his way into the end zone, and we're tied up at 6 with 7:43 left here in this first half.
That's a really good-looking drive by Phil Campbell using the run and the pass. Second time we've seen Barnwell take it himself, and the first time was for a first down, this time for a touchdown.
So tied at 6, the extra point coming up. Phil Campbell bringing a few more players on here late, and looks like Abraham Gonzalez will be on for the extra point here. And he will kick, and he will put it through there, so it is a 7-6 Phil Campbell lead. So Phil Campbell, they're dialing it up through the air on a long pass, gets them down to the 5, and the quarterback Barnwell says, I'll take it from here, and into the end zone for the 1-point lead.
For years, you've known Miller Sand and Landscape Supply for sand, mulch, and topsoil. Now you need to know about this.
Miller Sand and Landscape Supply invites you to visit their all-new Outdoor Center, located at 345 DeArmonville Drive in Anniston. In the Miller Outdoor Center, you'll find beautiful fountains by Massarelli, a large selection of pottery planters, and yard art to complement any outdoor decorating style. You'll also find outdoor chemicals, fertilizers, potting soil, and more. So whether you need a little or a lot, count on Miller Sand and Landscape Supply to help make your yard the envy of the neighborhood.
We were looking to sell our starter home and move into our dream home. After looking at all the options, we chose to work with ERA King. ERA means easy, responsive, and attention to detail. ERA King made the entire process of buying and selling a house easy. From helping us decide on a listing price to navigating the final closing, our agent worked with us every step of the way. ERA King. To us, it means always doing the right thing for every client. What will ERA mean to you? Find out at eraking.com.
The Lynn Bears facing a second down here and about 4.5 to go. They'll hand it off inside and get about 3 of the 4. That time on the carry. Number 8, Carson Legg. And it will bring up a 3rd down and about 1 yard to go for the Bears.
Good job defensively there by the Bobcats. Able to force this 3rd and short situation. We'll see what they do here. They've had some really good success with Cagle at running back. Same thing in the short yardage situations. They've gone with legs, so they have a couple of options here.
Double wing formation. The motion man comes to the near side. They'll give it off. Not any running room there at all. An extra effort still not going to get him there. They hit Cagle in the backfield. And it's going to bring up 4th down and 1 yard now for Lynn.
Don't see any personnel changing over, and the offensive unit is staying out on the field, so we will have a situation where they go for it here. Brandon Hill gets the call. Number 21 plays quarterback. Don't necessarily see quarterbacks wearing numbers anything past 19.
No, you really don't. But they're going to go for it here on 4th down and 1 yard. They will line up. They may try to go hard snap count. Nope, going to hand it off. Bobble in the backfield, going to lose it. And Phil Campbell there. That time tried to fake the handoff, and instead it finds its way on the ground, and having to pounce on it, turns it over to the Bobcats.
Yeah, this one just a disaster from Jump Street. Not able to do anything with the football and turns it over on downs. And for the 2nd straight time, a great field position start for the Phil Campbell Bobcats. First time by the way of the penalty on the touchdown, this time on the turnover on downs.
So this will start at the 40-yard line. Barnwell still in there at quarterback. Good drive. Nope, they're going to change quarterbacks. Does Phil Campbell. So they bring in Ridge Rapier as he will come in at quarterback for Phil Campbell on this drive here. So we'll take a break and we'll continue our coverage in just a moment. 7-6, Phil Campbell with the lead.
Historic Banning Mills is the largest and longest zipline canopy adventure in the world. It's located in your own backyard near Carrollton, Georgia. Historic Banning Mills offers over 9 miles of courses, 52 sky bridges, and over 90 different zip lines, soaring at speeds of up to 60 miles per hour and up to 3,400 feet in length. Most everyone in the family can participate, even the little ones. If that's not enough, climb the Guinness World Record's tallest freestanding rock climbing wall at 14 stories high. Historic Banning Mills also offers horseback riding, kayaking, GPS adventures, birds of prey shows, and much more. So much that you can't fit it all in one day. So stay the night or the whole weekend at their Country Inn Lodge or rent a cabin. Don't take your family, friends, or company retreat just anywhere. Make it unforgettable at Historic Banning Mills.
They got 2 at quarterback. Phil Campbell offensively at the Lynn 45 to open up this drive. Micah Cagle, or check that, going to be the keeper on the left side. Slipping down is Rapier. And he will lose about a half yard, makes it 2nd down and 11. So you got Rapier in there at quarterback after Barnwell had the initial drive, and I believe Rapier may be more of the running quarterback.
Yeah.
That time they were just trying to get him on a quarterback keeper to the outside, but not able to get anything going. 2nd down and 11 now for Phil Campbell, as they really go with the same set, and Barnwell will shift out to really a wing back over here on the near side. They'll sweep it to the right. Not a whole lot of room there. The Lynn Bears up to make the stop, and again you got to give credit to Evan Lamb. There in the middle, he has been a force here in this first period. He'll get the stop there. Also Lindley in to make the stop. Let's try to inside sweep, and there's just nothing there as they clog that hole and drive him back. So now a big 3rd down here for Phil Campbell.
Yeah, give a lot of credit there to the front for the Lynn Bears, led by Lamb and Lindley. And when you have that kind of pressure up front, what it really does is it forces teams that they'll play in the regular season in their 1A schedule. It'll force teams to try to throw the football on them just to gain just to have a little bit of diversity, because the way that that defensive front line is playing, teams will find a hard time running against this team. This Bears unit have another offensive penalty here that'll set it back another 5 yards, but it's so invaluable to have a guard, nose guard, defensive end, or a hybrid linebacker that can come in and stop the run as well as they've been doing here.
Phil Campbell's initial drive, they kind of spread things out and really attacked Lynn on the edges and big pass plays. This time it's more of a tight lineup on this drive, and now rolling out. Raper's in trouble, got pressure, going to be hit and driven back. He will be sacked back at the 40-yard line. That time, Cagle all the way back, able to track him down for a big loss. But now Lynn's going to have to punt the football away here on 4th down and long. You see Cagle get after him, and he almost loses the football. Raper's able to keep a hand on it, but watch, he will bobble it just as soon as he's hit there and kind of trapped it against his helmet momentarily and then pulls it in. And it's going to be a big stop for this Lynn defense, and now going to have to punt it away, will the Phil Campbell Bobcats.
That's phenomenal pressure there by Cagle. Also, number 8, Leg, got in there as well. That's good pressure there by the Lynn Bears, and we've seen that front seven, not just the front seven, but the linebackers come up and make plays to stop the run, and it's exactly what you want. If you're Lynn, and Coach Calvin Aldridge has to really like the defensive performance that he's seen so far from his guys.
Back in 1996 at the Super 6 in Birmingham, Lynn Cagle for Lynn had 307 yards rushing. Now, I'm just wondering, there's got to be a connection there.
Right.
Because I'm from small town USA, and I'm sure Lynn is not that big.
Yeah.
Okay? So you got to think that there is something to it. But I remember that being at Legion Field that day when he had that phenomenal performance in the state championship game.
Well, the way that this Cagle has been playing, you would think that there's
a connection.
Some of that gene pool is running right in his blood as well.
This time they'll line him up in the backfield along with Brandon Hill. Hill will take it, gives it to Cagle, comes near side, cuts it back, and he'll gain a couple. Phil Campbell stop there. Caleb Solis, as he will come up to make the stop after a gain of a couple. 2nd down and 8 to go.
Not a lot of balls being put in the air here by either team. We'll see what they dial up here on 2nd and long, but outside of Phil Campbell's one big pass play, there hasn't been a whole lot of passing here.
2nd down and long. Brandon Hill there, the quarterback, as he will take it. Going to dump it off to Cagle. Tries to get some running room, slips a tackle. He'll dive across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. You know, one thing I want to say is the initial defensive series for Phil Campbell, that first drive was not very good at all.
Right.
And since then, they have settled down and seem to be defensively kind of getting their bearings about it, and had a couple of good stops here on the last couple of drives for Lynn.
Yeah, a lot of times when you have a busted play like that, that very first play of the game that goes for such long yardage, what you end up doing as an offense is you go back to that a couple of times, but then on defense, you are able to kind of redirect yourself, and the defensive staff able to get together with the guys and find out what exactly their assignments are, and then they're able to put together some good pressure, and that's exactly what Phil Campbell's done since then.
Yeah, they get a stop there on 3rd down. It's going to bring up 4th, and Lynn, let's see if they decide to go for it. I think they're going to try to punt this one away, and they will.
Yeah, last time they went for it on 4th down, didn't work out too well. They got the turnover on downs with the fumble earlier, which led to a big play there by Phil Campbell. So this time they'll punt it away.
You know, the Bobcats have not had a lot of success really on the gridiron in the last few years, and after that initial drive, it seems like they have settled down, and they're playing very fundamentally sound football now. and stopping this Lynn offense. They'll punt it away, and it's going to be fielded about the 37-yard line, and that's where it'll be first down and 10 for the Bobcats. And the defense has come up with another stop. We've got 48 ticks of the clock remaining left here in this first period. Let's see what the Bobcat offense turns to this time. You had Barnwell on the first drive, and it was more of a spread offense attack. Then they changed, went to Raper, and it was more of a inside handoff and trying some inside sweep type drive, and not as much success at all. So looks like here they're going to go back to Barnwell at quarterback. He's got the I backfield back behind him. They'll run the option, give it to the first man through, and close to the 40-yard line goes Emer Ordonez for Phil Campbell. Gain about 4 yards.
Two completely different styles of play calling for both teams. I've noticed with Lynn, it's a little bit like Piedmont does. Piedmont High School, the quarterback will go all the way straight to the head coach, and they'll get the play literally just mouth to mouth, no symbols. And then for Phil Campbell, for both quarterbacks, it's been everybody else stay in the huddle and then get your signs from the quarterback and then take it back to the team.
Ordonez again on the carry as he will power his way for about 3 more yards. Going to set up a 3rd down and 2 when we open up the second half, or the second period, we should say. After 1, Cagle gets Lynn on the board as he scampers in on the right side. And then Phil Campbell answers Barnwell with a run of his own. It's 7-6, Bobcats with the 1-point lead.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99 and then bring it in for free refills throughout the year. That's right, free popcorn for a full year. Your locally owned and operated Grub Mart, in business for over 75 years.
Don't just dream it. Call Family Savings Credit Union. Right now, get something you want for as low as 2.24% APR. You can even apply online or by phone. Family Savings Credit Union, where your money grows with you and your family.
Phil Campbell leading by 1. You see Barnwell, the quarterback there, getting some instructions, and again, that red-headed quarterback looked good on that first drive, and the extra point gave them a 1-point lead as they try to add to it here. Lynn, as we said, 5-5 last year. You know, sometimes you look at it, Gerhard, and you try to figure out which team would like to have success here more today. I think it's Phil Campbell. I think they feel like they've got more to play for. They need to get something going this fall, and they would love to get it started here today. But again, Lynn also would love to try to start making plans for postseasons.
Most definitely. They were a game out last time, finished from 5th place in Class 1A Region 6. Meanwhile, Phil Campbell started the year 2-2, got 2 big wins in the first 4 games over Clements and Vina, and then lost 6 straight to end the season. Of course, talked about that tough region they already play in with the likes of Westminster Christian, Colbert Heights, and Lauderdale County, 3 teams that are perennially in the playoffs and going really deep in the playoffs as well over on the west side of Alabama. And so lots to compete against just to get to that postseason, but last year took a couple of steps towards that. Of course, this is not a program that's had a ton of success. Last 9-win season was back in 2001.
Good tough run around right in there. Going to pick up about 3 yards. And again, that is number 18 on the carry. We do not have him on our roster, but still a good power move as he just lowers his shoulder after the Extreme Roofing first down, and now 2nd down and about 6 to go for the Phil Campbell Bobcats. Ball at the 49-yard line. As they will again come out in more of a tight formation. It seems like as the game has gone on, they have kind of felt like they're going to result, go more power football here against Lynn. The handoff and nothing doing that time. That was Ordonez on the carry and just nowhere to go. So it's going to bring up a third down now. We'll call it about 6.5 yards to go for Phil Campbell.
Good shot there, Michael Daugherty.
As you said, you look at this and you got Ridge Raper comes to the sideline and gets the play. Then he takes it to Barnwell. Then Barnwell takes it to the huddle. So.
And they both played quarterback.
And we've both seen them. Yeah, that's right. Seen them both at quarterback. So here it is, third down. They'll give it off. Raper goes left and going to be chopped down as he gets to about the 48-yard line. He'll be shy of the first down. Looks like they'll mark him about 2.5 yards shy. And decision time right here for Coach Barnwell.
We've already seen Lynn go for it one time and wonder if they'll do the same here.
What? There's a penalty.
There's a quick flag, and they picked it up really quick as well.
And the indication is holding against Phil Campbell, so that'll move it back inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. So third down at the 38. Needing to get about 17 yards now for the first down. Split out Raper over here to the near side now. The I formation. Back behind Barnwell, bobbles it, gets it back, rolls out, in trouble. Now throwing it, got a man down there, tipped once and incomplete. Had two men in the area. And that time, I believe the intended receiver was number 35, Ben Williams. He got a hand on it, and it fell incomplete. He rolls out to the right. He gets hit right as he lets go of the ball there. You see the big hit, and just a little too tall for Williams.
It's a good job defensively by Lynn. I think the play just took a little too long to develop. Either way, I mean, you'd have to get some yards after the catch in order to pick up the first down. But the Lynn defense, especially on the interior, they've been doing a fine job all day, and do so on that play right there, being able to get the coverage. We'll have a kick here by Lynn.
And he will mark it at 32. Not real sure how that.
It definitely wasn't where the ball went out, but
I don't know if they're just giving them 30 on the punt anyway. Was that? But either way, it's at the 32-yard line. It's where they'll start first down and 10. So Lynn will have it here with 9:41 left in the first half.
Seen Cagle has some pretty good plays here for Lynn early on. We've seen Legg as well, number 8, and then Brandon Hill has orchestrated the offense for the Bears so far, and they've done a great job really all game long, but especially up front with the offensive line, been able to create some gaps. And
snap, gets away from the quarterback, rolls out to the right side, trying to ad-lib on his own. He's in a world of trouble. And he'll be dropped back at the 20-yard line. That's going to be a loss of about 11 yards. That time, snap was a little high, but Brandon Hill just not able to bring it in, and the defense all over him as he tries to go to the right side, and then they'll bottle him up and drop him there.
Good initial hit there by number 30, Austin Douthit.
You know, and we talked a little bit about the format has been kind of, how they've substituted in the second half. In Lynn's case, there are not that many players to substitute in.
Right.
So are you pretty much going to have to play it straight the whole game, I would think, because there's not enough to bring in a second and third, JV unit for any reason. But
right.
Time to carry on the left side by Hill, and he gets a lot of that yardage back. But, you just got to wonder if that's what they're going to have to do is really just play it straight for the next 2 periods.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they'll have to do because, as you said, there's not a true second unit.
Right.
There's just not another 11 guys that can go out there and play, especially at different positions. And so maybe it might be a situation where they will just rotate players at different positions that they want to see a little bit later on, and coaches will kind of tinker or experiment with, one guy's at left guard. We'll see how he does at tackle and just different places where they can get their evaluation in.
3rd and long. Hill keeps it to the right side. He'll break 2 tackles, stiff arm, and he's got the first down out to the 45-yard line. That was a good run that time as he will bring it forward for the Extreme Roofing first down. You watch Hill right here, the second defender. He kind of shakes loose from the first, but the second is a forearm or a good stiff arm, and he's brought down there. And that is good for first down yardage out to the 45-yard line.
Well, we've seen Phil Campbell tinker a little bit with quarterbacks, running backs, and different playmakers. For Lynn, it's been basically the same thing all game. It's been Hill at quarterback, and he's made plays in the last two consecutive plays, and really over the last 2 drives, he's made his presence felt as he goes to the shotgun for the first time.
First down and long, steps back, looking, got a man deep, throws it down there. The catch is going to be made at the 25-yard line, 25, and into the end zone for the Lynn Bears goes Jacob Rivera. Rivera will go in as he will put the Bears on the board. Does a little dance in the end zone. He'll get by as the official had his back turned. But this is a well-delivered football from Brandon Hill.
That's exactly what they wanted, too. They got the one-on-one coverage along the outside, just ran down the hash mark, and then he takes it in for a touchdown. And as you said, with the penalty they called earlier, he's lucky not to get a penalty on that touchdown celebration, but a lot to be happy about. On the first pass play of the game, as far as I can recall, I have to go back and look at the drive chart, but on the first pass play that I remember, especially the one going downfield, the Bears get in the end zone.
Lynn goes back on top 12-7. Going to have to burn a timeout here before the 2-point conversion. But that time, Rivera got in the end zone, and the back judge had kind of turned his back to go get the football, and that's when he decided to bust a couple of moves there and gets away with it, though. I'm sure, again, you talk about things that you got to work on in the offseason, and I believe you may see Calvin Aldridge kind of address the celebrations of his team here today as he goes into the end zone. Gets a little chest bump here. You see that. Everything's good so far. And then I believe there's a little stop. And then one more move. There we go. And had to give the whole dance there. So, again, the official, luckily for Rivera, was looking the other way, so he missed the couple of extra moves there.
I think it's a balance of emotions that coaches have to deal with. You want to be able to be. So this is a flag right here.
Right. Yeah, you got to penalize that one there, and because that's you call that one. But this one right here, well, no harm, no foul, I guess. Oh. And, the manager comes out and says, good job there. But, that's what we've had here this afternoon.
It's good, entertaining stuff. But going back to a relative serious point, not a super serious point, but a relative serious point is you have to try to somehow coach the emotions because you don't want to take the emotion completely out of the game because that's exactly the reason why you play.
Right.
And at the same time, you don't want to penalize your team as the first penalty did, which resulted in the great field position for Phil Campbell. And you can literally insert Phil Campbell in for whatever opponent it is, week 1, week 2, week 3 of the season. And then next thing you know, that's the difference between 15 yards and a chance at a first down, and then you kind of extrapolate that all the way to the playoffs and whatnot. So
Hill drops back, throws it in the end zone, going to be too short, and the 2-point conversion fails. And and that's the thing about it is you look at the emotion of it all, and again, 12-7. That's the bottom line right now. Great pass from Hill down to Rivera, and let the celebration begin because the Bears lead 12-7 here in the Gridiron Challenge.
I'll just be a minute.
What you just did with that clutch was so clutch. Just like when you ditched your old credit card and got the America's First credit card with a low interest rate and cash back on purchases.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Tim Hodges, Fred Wilson, Eli Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
It's time to get after it. So turn it on, crank it up, and let's get after it together. America's first small business services.
12-7 our score. Lynn on top of Phil Campbell. After no gain on first down, it's 2nd and 10 now. Raper back in at quarterback. Bobble on the snap, he's in trouble, and he'll lose a couple of yards there. Again, you change of quarterbacks sometimes, especially if you're operating under center. Your center quarterback exchange could be different from quarterback to quarterback.
Right.
You know, it's just kind of a something that you get used to. And that time, Bobble on the snap, and it results now in 3rd down and long for this Phil Campbell offense.
Yeah, you would think that they would have a settled quarterback situation going into the fall, and this might be a situation where you're trying to rotate both to find out where your team performs under, whether it is Barnwell or Raper. At that time, Raper's pass goes incomplete, setting up 4th down, but this has been an interesting dynamic that Coach Barnwell has elected to do with rotating these quarterbacks in series and from possession to possession.
5:55 left here in the first half. 12-7 our score. Lynn on top. Phil Campbell now facing 4th down. They're going to have to punt the football away. Give it back to this Lynn offense. We've seen Lynn offensively, like I said, the first drive just getting chunk of yardage on every snap. Then kind of sputtered for a while, and that last drive able to do it through the air and also through the ground. And that's how they get on the board and take a 5-point lead here. 5:51 left in the first half. So here comes that Lynn offense. And I don't believe there's much of a controversy or any kind of decision to make at quarterback. Brandon Hill has looked really good at quarterback. And you look back at that drive that they just scored on a few minutes ago. On first down, he loses 12, 13 yards on the bad snap.
Mm-hmm.
Then able in 2 plays to get the first down back.
Yep.
And so, you know, that shows you right there that they have some big play capability. They go and score 6 on it. But
right, and then he caps off the drive with a big pass play on their side of the field as well. So, yeah, he's the unquestioned leader. What a play.
Wow. Cagle takes it on the right side, and Raper unloads. That may be the hardest hit we've seen today. Big pop in the backfield. You see Cagle come around the end, and Raper just tattoos him, and that's going to be about a 3.5-yard loss.
Well, both number 2s have done well, played well for their teams all day today, and offensively and defensively. That time, Raper gets the best of Cagle and comes up with the big play right there.
2nd down and about 13. As Hill brings the Lions to the line. Double wing formation, back to Cagle again. Cagle on the right side. He will fall forward close to the 42-yard line. Sets up a 3rd down. And needing about 7.5 yards to go.
Lynn, a team that has gone 142 miles to the east to get to this point. As we said last year, they were 5-5. They finished in 5th place, just outside of the playoffs last year. Now they want to take another step. South Lamar is a really, really good football team out of that region, as is Pickens County. We know about their history and the championships they've brought back to West Alabama. Hubbardsville is in there as well as Marion County. So,
wow, another big stop defensively. Phil Campbell on 3rd down, a big hit in the backfield. Caleb Solis up to make the stop for the Bobcats there. He brings down Lindley, and it's 4th down for the Lynn Bears.
You know, we saw this on the other side with the Lynn defense earlier, and this time it's Phil Campbell, and this is what you like to see out of a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
After making the initial tackle, after making the initial grab, I should say. Kept his feet moving, drove through the guy, and then able to get some resources on the back end. It's a good job there by big fella, number 70, Caleb Soyles.
And he pulls the shirt up to show the belly. That's always great for a D lineman. I mean, you know, he's got it going on, and a good play there as he's able to make the hit and hold on for the tackle. Back with more coverage right after this.
For great food and great service and a great atmosphere, come and see us at Top of the River in Anniston. At Top of the River, all of our products are prepared fresh daily with our own special recipes, including our farm-raised, grain-fed catfish. Large groups and private groups from 50 to 250 are welcome, and reservations are accepted 7 days a week. And ask about our full on-site catering. Family owned and operated since 1982 and always kid friendly. Top of the River in Anniston.
I got back my smack talk touchdown hole-in-one 3-point home run, hat trick pavement pounding record-setting goal across the finish line. Because Core didn't give up, I didn't give up, and I certainly didn't give in. I'm going to get back to doing what I love. I'm going to get back to winning.
Barnwell back in at quarterback for Phil Campbell. He tries to go deep. You see right here as he looks down the right sideline, floats it a little much, and the safety, which is the quarterback for Lynn, and that's Brandon Hill. He comes over with the INT, so he gets the pick, and it's 1st and 10 for the Bears back at the 31.
Well, every quarterback is told to read one thing on one thing on defense first. It's the safeties. Find out if they're one high, if they're too high, if they're dropping down to play the run. And that time, quarterback against quarterback, and the quarterback in white comes up with the big play as the free safety in that situation just floats over there to her and plays the position perfectly, gets the ball at its highest point, gets the turnover.
Lynn leading by 5. Brandon Hill gives it off up the middle, and that's about the 32-yard line on the carry there. I believe that's going to be Cagle on the carry as well. So 2nd down and long for the Lynn Bears. Cagle looks like he's kind of trying to shake off some kind of problem as he's kind of taking his time getting to the. He did take a pop a little bit earlier now, but
he
kind of looks. He may be okay, but kind of taking his time getting back to the huddle. Hill's going to drop back this time, flip it in the flats. Catch is going to be made. Good, well thrown football, and forward across the 35 to the 37-yard line. That was a good throw and catch, and it's pulled in that time by Jacob Rivera.
Good job there by the Phil Campbell defense. It's a nice screenplay, and I like the play call. But both guys for Phil Campbell led on the charge and finished up by Caleb Solis. So this is another big play for the Phil Campbell defense. Can they get Lynn off the field and get a possibility to score with about a minute and 30 left in the game, I would think, or a minute 30 left in the half.
Play clock down to 1. They get the snap away. Hill on the keeper, comes to the left side, cuts it back in. Good run, cuts against the grain, and one man to beat. Hill, he will break away to the 15-10 and go into the end zone for the Lynn Bears. And Hill scores from a long way away and puts Lynn up 18-7.
Well, it's only fitting that the guy that got him the football on the interception is the guy that comes up with a big play. This is 3rd and short. Phil Campbell has him exactly where he wants him, and then he's able to break free and score on the long touchdown. So Hill, as you said earlier, last drive or 2 drives ago, able to make up for the yards, get a big pass play. That time got an interception on defense, come back on offense, a big 3rd and short situation where your team has either a chance to move the sticks or punt the football, puts Lynn back on the scoreboard.
Hill tapped his helmet wanting to come out, but nope, got the 2-point conversion first. And now they'll go for the 2, giving it off to Cagle, bounces to the right side, cuts it back in, and he's going to be stopped shy of the goal line, and he'll be brought down. So our score will remain 18-7. Now, here's the thing. one thing we want to talk about when we come back, you're looking at players going both ways. And Caleb Hill getting it done on both sides of the football, and an 18-7 lead for the Bears.
Hi, my name is Reverend Jeffrey C. Williams, the owner and licensed funeral director of Anderson Funeral Services. At Anderson Funeral Services, we are compassionate and caring individuals committed to providing quality and professional service at affordable prices. We are where service begins and never ends, and love is what love does.
Aniston Funeral Services offers affordable services to meet any need for all families. Aniston Funeral Services, 630 South Wilmer Avenue, where service begins and never ends.
I was finally ready to buy my first home after renting for the last several years. As I started my search, I got overwhelmed by how many websites and confusing listings there are. That's when I found the experts at ERA King. To me, ERA means expertise, reliability, and activity. I depended on them to find a home in my budget, and they didn't stop working until the keys were in my hands. ERA King. To us, it means always doing the right thing for every client. What will ERA mean to you? Find out at eraking.com.
18-7 our score. Lynn on top of Phil Campbell. While we're away, handoff up the middle, gets a few yards. Now Barnwell back, runs the option to the right side. And again, that Lynn defense is up to the task, gets a stop there. That is a good play that time by Griffin Lynn, as he will bring down the ball carrier. So going to set up a third down. And you're looking at the clock with 1:02 left here in this first half. Looks like they will call a timeout. Will Phil Campbell here. The thing I was talking about, and you and I were discussing during the break, is you look at these two teams, and for example, Lynn, there are not many reserves over on the sideline. I guess maybe
just a handful, not even 10.
7.
Yeah.
And so you've got players that are playing both sides of the football, and you know, it's basically 100 degrees out there on the field. And you look at, for example, the quarterback Hill. He kind of over there trying to catch his breath. You see him right there at the front of the screen. And this is a guy that came up with a big interception from the safety position, and then had that long touchdown run. And is he celebrating early from about the 15? No, he's running out of gas.
Right, yeah.
You know, because it's hot and he's on both sides of the ball. And, you know, it's one of those things where these players, you know, even though you've practiced 9 times, you're not in mid-season conditioning form, you know. So, you know, so you look at it, and that's kind of, you know, the way it's been in the first half. Barnwell, he got things, you know, you throw it deep, and there's Hill with the interception. So, again, a big pick there. And then about a, 65-yard touchdown run where not only is it 65 yards, he cuts all the way across the field.
Right.
To add to that. So he probably cleared, about 100 yards on that run. And you see him right here going, yeah, I'm about out. He taps his helmet, wanting out, and they get him back out for the 2 points, and he sits out, I guess, one play, and now he's back in there at safety.
Yeah, I think both coaches will have to go back, and at a halftime they'll come up with a plan for their guys moving forward, because we talked about on the Lynn side less than 10 players, and on the Phil Campbell side not even 20 players on their side as far as reserves go. So got some good evaluation here. We'll see what they do in the third quarter moving forward. Ooh.
Throw and catch, big collision over here at the 39-yard line. And getting positive yardage. Again, that's number 18. As he comes back to his quarterback, Barnwell finds him out here. Look at this collision. Tell you what, number 9 for Lynn, and that is Michael Daugherty. He hangs on and brings him down and sets up a 4th down with 29 seconds left on the clock here. And now starting to roll forward. They're going to have to hurry to get the play off. Phil Campbell here on 4th down. Going to go for it. As they will take it, Barnwell drops back, in trouble, steps up, throws it, and it's going to be knocked down. Another good play. I believe that's going to be Legg. He gets a hand on it. And a little discussion over there on the sideline. You look at this big pass play down to Rivera, and then you got Hill. He does it with his arm, now comes back, does it with his leg, and he builds an 11-point lead for the Bears. 18-7, Lynn on top here in the Spring Gridiron Challenge.
For a high-flying adventure of a lifetime, visit the new Screaming Eagle Zipline Canopy Tour and Aerial Adventure Park at Lake Guntersville State Park. Fly above and through the treetops at heights up to 250 feet on Alabama's largest high-speed zipline course. The Screaming Eagle is a safe and family-friendly adventure course that allows you to explore Lake Guntersville State Park from the point of view of the park's famous bald eagles and enjoy amazing views of Lake Guntersville. Book your aerial adventure tour today by calling 256-886-2517 or book online at LakeGuntersvilleZipline.com.
For years, you've known Miller Sand and Landscape Supply for sand, mulch, and topsoil. Now you need to know about this.
Miller Sand and Landscape Supply invites you to visit their all-new Outdoor Center, located at 345 DeArmonville Drive in Anniston. In the Miller Outdoor Center, you'll find beautiful fountains by Massarelli, a large selection of pottery planters, and yard art to complement any outdoor decorating style. You'll also find outdoor chemicals, fertilizers, potting soil, and more. So whether you need a little or a lot, count on Miller Sand and Landscape Supply to help make your yard the envy of the neighborhood.
18-7 our score, 11-point advantage for the Lynn Bears here in this first half, taking on Phil Campbell. You know, you talk about tradition. Phil Campbell really in the last several years needing some good things to happen. They got off to a good start today. You look at that, and there's some things that you see that they can build on, trying to juggle in two quarterbacks right now, Barnwell and also Raper going back and forth. It seems like that to you and I on the outside, Barnwell seems to be getting it done, but there's still a role for Raper. But they've got to find some offensive consistency.
That's the biggest thing, is being able to find that consistency, and I think that's what they're trying to build on for the fall, and finding out where their offense is more productive. I agree with you. I think their offense is more productive when you have Blackwell back there, and then you have Raper making plays as a running back and as a wide receiver. I think that's what they'll go to moving forward. Both guys bring a whole lot to the table, and both guys play both ways, and so you really need them on both sides of the football. But I think they're better off when Raper is making the plays from the running back position.
On the other side, you got Lynn. You've got Cagle running the football. Also, the way Hill has played in the first half, Cagle getting it started with a big touchdown run. Like we said, getting chunks of yardage on that first drive. It was just big run after big run. Cagle then gets it in. They call a celebration penalty there, which started off Phil Campbell in good field position. And a great pass right here gets them deep into Lynn territory. And then Barnwell around the outside, able to shake loose from who else but Hill and get into the end zone. Then here comes Hill with a good pass down deep. Rivera hauls it in, outruns everybody into the end zone as he puts that one on the money. Then you got Barnwell trying to take a shot deep, and Hill is there again. Those two guys have really been, it seems like every play. And then Hill sheds defenders there, cuts it back against grain, outruns everybody into the end zone, and that's really how the scoring has gone. So you look at Hill, and he has really performed well. We've had a busy day today. Started off Stanhope Elmore 14-6 over the defending 5A state champion Central Clay Volunteers as they get the 8-point win there. Gardendale falls to Sparkman 17-7. Those two teams, Gerhard, you look at it, both offenses looked really well. Very talented teams on both sides.
Yeah, lots of to look forward to for both squads. The Senators did a really good job on the early part of the game, touchdown in the first parts of the game early on, and then used their defense a little bit later. Gardendale came up with some big plays, and it was one of those. They got down to the red zone a few times, didn't get it in, but still a good performance today in that 10-point loss. Then after that, a great game that we saw with Dora and Springville. Springville claiming the 1-point win, and then we had a good one right here with Phil Campbell and Lynn.
Yeah, Lynn with an 11-point win. We'll see how the second half transpires as we continue our coverage of this beautiful Saturday and the Spring Gridiron Challenge.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99 and then bring it in for free refills throughout the year. That's right, free popcorn for a full year. Your locally owned and operated Grub Mart, in business for over 75 years.
Don't just dream it. Call Family Savings Credit Union. Right now, get something you want for as low as 2.24% APR. You can even apply online or by phone. Family Savings Credit Union, where your money grows with you and your family.
Final game of the day. Lynn and Phil Campbell here. It's been a very eventful day. We've seen a lot of good athletes, a lot of great football plays at Burgess-Snow Field. We'll take a look back at game one of the day. Boyd Ogles for Clay Central throws it. It's going to be batted around and picked off by Stanhope Elmore. The defense for Stanhope Elmore, T.J. Jackson there, they were unblockable in this ball game. Clay Central said, hey, we know a little about defense too, as they jar the football loose. It set up Clay Central deep, but a bobbled exchange between quarterback and tailback picked off. Edwards returns it all the way, and Stanhope Elmore was on the board leading 7-0. Late in the first half, Vols driving, high pass going to be picked off across the middle, and that stopped the drive for Clay Central. And then in the second half, the only score, a Clay Central run, Keeson Lindsey, 80 yards. He'll be a freshman this fall, and he goes into the end zone from 80 yards out to get the Vols on the board. And the final score, 14-6. Brian Bradford and Coach Danny Horn meet after that one. Second game, Sparkman taking on Gardendale. Early in the ball game, Gerhard, this guy knows how to pick them up and put them down.
Nick Sawyer was spectacular today, and especially in early parts of the game with his arm and his leg. Got the Senators off to a great start offensively, and then on defense, picked up a couple of interceptions on the backup quarterback. This is Rue Ross, who was starting in place of Will Crowder today for the Rockets. And then the Rockets get good defense here. A one-on-one situation that is Justin Parks coming through with the bat. And then LT Sanders gets into the end zone for Gardendale. And this is a really competitive football game. Great special teams, solid offense, solid defense as well. We saw really all three phases getting into the mix. And then late in the game, the Senators get back on the scoreboard with the JV unit. Sparkman goes on to win it by 10.
Third game of the day, it was the Springville Tigers as they taken on the Dora Bulldogs and got things going early. Touchdown pass on the outside and into the end zone. Springville led early, but back with a big touchdown pass. That time for Dora. Busby finds his man deep, but Springville again, and Pearson Baldwin as he will find Landon Ho in the end zone. And Springville defense, again, good pressure from the outside, able to kind of bottle up that offense, and then it got physical there in the fourth. Pearson Baldwin into the end zone. A late touchdown scored right here by Dora. Long run. Ike Hosea as he will go in for the score. At 20-19, Springville gets the 1-point win there. Getting set for the third and the fourth here. It's Lynn and Phil Campbell continuing right here in just a moment.
Hey, it's Nicholas Dover at Dover's Mattress Closeout Center, and I just want to tell you the difference between us and any other mattress store. We are a closeout center. We take name brand mattresses and we discount them 50 to 75% off retail. We have locations in Birmingham, Fultondale, Coleman, Guntersville, and Jasper. Go to doversmattress.com and find out so much more. You can also check out our financing. We have credit check and no credit needed. Apply online.
At Westwood Appliance, we buy, sell, and service most major brands like Whirlpool, Kenmore, Maytag, Samsung, and GE. We carry a complete line of refrigerators, washers, dryers, stoves, and freezers, and we guarantee what we sell.
Use your head, trade with Ed.
Hi, I'm Mark Boatler. And I'm Jody Jones. We are Extreme Roofing and Construction. With our 20-plus years of roofing and insurance claims experience, we may be able to get you the roof you've been wanting but just didn't have the budget. It starts with an inspection, and from there we'll determine if a claim needs to be filed. We'll make that call with you, and we'll also meet with your adjuster. At Extreme, we do not ask for any money up front. We only ask for the money after the completion of the job. Or if you just want a cash estimate, we can do that for you as well. Give us a call today at Extreme Roofing and Construction.
Hey, George Sides Jr. with Sides Furniture. We're located in Dora. We also offer appliances, and one of our featured appliances brand would be the Speed Queen washers. If you're looking for an old-fashioned washer and dryer, Speed Queen is going to be that model. They come in manual knob construction. They come in digital panel timers as well. The main thing about these washers, they have an agitator. They fill up full with water. They have, starting with a
7 Lynn on top of Phil Campbell. Barnwell rolls out to the near side. Finds Raper. Big gain across midfield. 45. And Raper down to the 40-yard line of Lynn. Big play there on first down and 10 for Phil Campbell.
We just got through talking about this. I think that you mentioned it earlier. We were talking about it at halftime. I think this is when they're most productive, when they have Barnwell in at quarterback, and then you have Raper being able to make plays as a wide receiver and as a running back. That time as a wide out, got one-on-one coverage on the outside, able to get past number 27 for the Lynn Bears on defense, Jacob Rivera, and then pick up the extra yardage for the first down. But
is there a penalty on the play?
I didn't see a flag unless they dropped it and picked it up.
Let's see. The officials are coming to the near side. Let's see if we get any kind of indication here. And maybe just stepped out of bounds as he cut back. I don't know. Just out at the 45-yard line. But first down and 10, nevertheless, that's a Extreme Roofing first down for the Phil Campbell Bobcats. So first down and 10, Bobble on the snap, picked up, and left side, Johnny on the spot there, picking it up is number 18, and he will go down to about the 43-yard line. Like I said earlier, that's one of those players I wish I had the name because he has really played well today. As he will pick up a few yards there, brings up a second down and 7 as Phil Campbell avoids disaster there.
Second and long, and they put number 2 Raper way out on the outside.
Try to attack the middle, giving off to Ordonez, and he will take it to the 40-yard line. Leaves it third down and about 5 now. Just inside 5-yard line. So yeah, Raper splits way out to the outside, and he'll bring the play back in. Big play here for Phil Campbell. You got Lynn. It looks like Hill is not in at safety. Trying to see if there are any new guys over there on the defensive side of the ball. They'll give it off Ordonez, and he's going to spin for the first down inside the 35 and down to the 33-yard line. Great powerful move there and a spin to pick up the Extreme Roofing first down.
That's picture perfect effort right there. A second and third effort on the play there by, as we saw Ordonez earlier in the game. We're seeing him here once again. This is essentially just an inside handoff, and just watch him continue to move his feet, pick up the first down. Coaches love that effort.
You're seeing Phil Campbell trying to put a drive together here to cut into that Lynn lead, which stands at 11. Barnwell in there at quarterback. As he'll bring motion, they'll pitch it to Ordonez, and he is hit right at the line. Not a whole lot cooking on that one.
John Lindley, number 34, coming down the line of scrimmage for Lynn. That's a great job on the inside, and it was kind of an awkward-looking pitch. And had it not been for Lindley, he might have been able to spring a few yards there.
Kind of an inside sweep and trying to keep it between the tackles here. Brings up a second down. And about 10 yards to go for Phil Campbell. Back to the I formation. They'll run the option. Barnwell's going to keep it, finds a little bit of running room. And then he will fight forward down to about the 27-yard line. Big stop in there by Hunter Keaton, 6'1", 370, ninth grader. As he is going to get credit for that tackle there. So it'll be third down and just inside 4 yards to go.
Believe it or not, that guy right there is a sophomore. 370 pounds.
Graduates in 2022.
Wow.
This time, Barnwell rolls out left, got a little pressure, dumps it off, tipped and incomplete. Trying to go deep and over to bat the football away is number 5, Marcus Meeks, as he's in there at safety for Brandon Hill.
Well, that worked the first time around. Picked up a huge chunk of yards when Barnwell hit number 1 along the outside in the first half. That time looking to go right back to him, but it's a good defensive effort there by the Lynn secondary.
So now 4th down at about 4. Bobcats trail by 11, and you see the clock rolling there, 7:03 here in this 3rd period. So they'll get to the line, 2 seconds on the play clock. I don't know if they'll get it off, and they're not. They will call a timeout. And they will call a timeout. Will Phil Campbell to try to keep this drive going. Big 4th down coming up when we come back at the Spring Gridiron Challenge.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Tim Hodges, Fred Wilson, Eli Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
I'll just be a minute.
What you just did with that clutch was so clutch. Just like when you ditched your old credit card and got the America's First credit card with a low interest rate and cash back on purchases.
18-7 the score. Phil Campbell trying to cut into that lead here now with a 4th down and needing to get about 4 yards in order to keep this drive alive. Barnwell up under center. Raper splits out to the near side. Barnwell rolls out right, got pressure, now steps up, trying to get a block, gets one, throws it, and going to be knocked away. He threw it late, and the defensive play that time made by Jacob Rivera as he's able to get in there and knock it away.
Talk about effort there on both sides, really. One on Phil Campbell's part to keep the play alive. This is the back end of the play, and then just good job on the secondary side of it.
I tried to find Ordonez there and thread the needle and just couldn't get it in there. So coach in there, and the meeting on the sideline talking to Barnwell. He's got some words in both ears, trying to figure out exactly which one to listen to there. But it's now 1st down and 10, and here comes Lynn. They lead by 11. Hill gives it off to Cagle. Cagle tries the right side, gets a block, cuts it inside. He will pick up positive yardage all the way out to the 40-yard line, and that's good for an Extreme Roofing 1st down. That time Cagle kind of weaving in and out of traffic. You see right here as he takes the handoff, looks like he's going to bounce it outside, but when he cuts it back and just runs through that last defender to pick up a couple more yards, big run there for Lynn, and they've got a 1st down out at the 40.
Number 77, Charles Heck, does a really good job blocking along the inside from his guard position, able to spring him free.
Double wing set. Hill will take it, fakes the inside handoff, going to keep it himself. He's going to be wrapped up and driven back, and Ordonez will spill him back at about the 34-yard line. Also, credit goes in there for Solis, who was also in to get the initial hit. So it's going to bring up 2nd down and long for Lynn, and you see that clock under 5 minutes remaining in the 3rd.
Outside of a couple of busted plays, and they've had a couple of mishaps on defense as Phil Campbell, but they play pretty well collectively. And, they've taken this the entire game overall, not just, throw away the stats. We just look at the individual plays made as to plays broken. When you take that ratio, they've done a really good job up front. Just a few things to clean up here and there.
Hill back to pass, flips it out in there. It's going to be caught. Out to the 45-yard line, falling forward to the 49-yard line. That is Griffin Lynn, as he will get it close to 1st down yardage, but it's still going to be shy and looks to be, is it going to be 4th down and about a half yard? Or is it, 4th down, about a half yard. They need to reach the midfield stripe. And looks like Lynn will go for it here as Hill comes back out.
Last time they elected to go for it on 4th down, they had a fumble on a missed little.
Gonna have to hurry. Play clock is down to 1, and I don't think he got it. He did not.
No, he didn't.
And the back judge calls it. Coach Calvin Aldridge disagrees that it was not at 0 when the snap occurred. And that's going to cost them 5 and make it 4th and 6. And it is delay of game, the call against Lynn. You saw everybody hurry into the line there, and the play clock was winding down. And so now 4th and about 6 to go.
Still going for it here, so if Phil Campbell can get a stop right here, they'll be in really good field position to cut into this lead.
But you know, if you're Lynn, you go ahead. That really doesn't hurt you that badly because you get to burn 2 minutes off the clock after the penalty's assessed, and they reset the football. But here on 4th down and 6, now they'll burn a timeout. So yeah, they're this is taking a lot of time off the clock just to get this 4th down play run.
A little bit of strategy there, using the clock as your friend. Then at the same time, like you said, try to get them on the hard count, and if not, call the timeout, simulate the punt.
We'll continue with our coverage of the Spring Gridiron Challenge in a moment. 18-7 our score.
When it comes to great tasting barbecue, nobody does it better than Dad's Barbecue. Dad's Barbecue is slow cooked to perfection, and Dad's menu now includes burgers, shakes, and delicious cheddar muffins. Large groups are always welcome, and Dad's does catering too. And Dad's offers fast, friendly service, and they're kid-friendly. Dine in or drive through. Dad's Barbecue, family owned since 1985, with 2 locations in Anniston to serve you.
I got back my Smack Talk touchdown hole-in-one 3-point home run, hat-trick pavement pounding record-setting goal across the finish line. Because Core didn't give up, I didn't give up. And I certainly didn't give in. I'm going to get back to doing what I love. I'm going to get back to winning.
So Lynn decides to punt the football away, and they will bring it back to the 20-yard line. That's where Phil Campbell will start, 1st down and 10, as the clock will roll. Under 2.5 minutes remaining here in this 3rd period. As we said, Gerhard, you look at it and you got to, the delay of game penalty. Then you let the clock roll all the way down and then call a timeout, and that eats a lot of that time off the clock. And you hate saying it, but for Lynn, it also gives those guys a little bit of a rest.
Right.
As they're trying to just, again, try to stay afloat here in the last stages of this ball game. Struggling with the heat and really the lack of depth. That pass goes incomplete, brings up a 2nd down and 10 from the 20-yard line. As Phil Campbell trying to get something going offensively here to try to cut into that 11-point lead. This time, Raper keeps it right side, gets a couple of good blocks, lowers a shoulder, goes out of bounds as he will bring it to the 34-yard line. And that is good for an Extreme Roofing 1st down. As they will have it 1st and 10, they'll mark it right at the 35. So Phil Campbell trailing by 11 with just about to be under a minute left this time. Same play, not the same result. They try Raper on the right side, and for Lynn, big stop in the backfield there.
Well, they seem at this point pretty easy to diagnose when Raper's in the ball game. It's going to be a run play, and I haven't seen him even attempt to put the ball in the air. And then when it's Barnwell, it can be run or pass, and one of the targets of those passes could be Raper. And so still have, some questions, so to speak, as far as, what they want to do as far as the production of the offense. That time they go the other way around. They go with Barnwell as the ball carrier. But
inside handoff, and
seems very one-dimensional.
Just really, not able to get anything going on that little cross play. And now we're under 8 seconds left here in the third, and Phil Campbell going to try to sneak in one more snap before the end, and Barnwell does take it from the shotgun, steps back. Going down the middle of the field, got his man. That's caught by Raper at the 45-yard line, and Raper will take it down to the 43. A well-delivered football to end the third period. Again, Barnwell to Raper, and it's first down and 10, as this is the way to end the third. Well delivered. And when we come back, our coverage will continue right after this.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99 and then bring it in for free refills throughout the year. That's right, free popcorn for a full year. Your locally owned and operated Grub Mart, in business for over 75 years.
Don't just dream it. Call Family Savings Credit Union. Right now, get something you want for as low as 2.24% APR. You can even apply online or by phone. Family Savings Credit Union, where your money grows with you and your family.
10 minutes of football left. Phil Campbell getting something going. Throw on the outside. The catch is going to be made down to the 40-yard line. And Barnwell, a couple of good passes here at the end of the third and to open up the fourth. As they'll try to get something, they're going to go with pretty much a hurry-up offense down by a couple of scores.
Yeah, two very well-delivered balls by Barnwell right in a row. That time to the outside.
This time floats it deep. Got a man down there. Raper, did he make that catch? They'll say, are they going to say intercepted?
It's impressive either way.
Either way, I don't know what they're going to call. And they will say they're calling an interception. Here it is. You got the battle here. It hits, rolls over. Yeah, Cagle.
Oh, wow.
Cagle comes out of there with it. Look at this battle. It hits him. It isn't. Did it hit the ground? Here it is close. And you got the arm under it. Hits the elbow, stays alive. Bounces up, and Cagle comes down there with it. Wow.
You know, I would suggest that we send that one off to a certain four-letter organization. We might get that on national television a little bit later.
That's going to be, that is a great play. Hey, guys, shooting that, what a phenomenal camera angle. Way to be there, man. That was huge. As they keep that one, somehow it never hits the ground, and Cagle comes out of there with it. That's the play of the day here this afternoon. So it's first down and 10 for Lynn. Hill, the quarterback, steps back. He's going to look deep, throws it out here. Got a man and overshoots him. And looking out here for Alex Narrymore. Double coverage, but, you know, you look at Narrymore, and he's 6'3" on the outside. So trying to give him a chance to go up and get it. And it's incomplete, brings up a second down and 10. Clock rolling now, under 8 minutes remaining. As we said, the lead is 11 for the Lynn Bears.
Lynn last year, first 3 games, started off 1-2, won 4 of their next 7. Needed one more win in order to get to the playoffs.
They set up the screen, and he can't hang on. That defensive line was 15 yards in the backfield. Tried to dump it off to Griffin Lynn, who had settled into the middle of that right behind his offensive line, and he just can't hang on. Look at the defensive line. They did not read screen at all, and Lynn, if he catches that, he's got 3 offensive linemen and 1 defender ahead of him.
Yeah, that would have been
a huge game.
Huge play for Lynn. And let's just state the obvious. Griffin Lynn, number 12, obviously at the right school, Lynn High School.
Absolutely.
Even spelled the same.
Third and long. They'll go with the inside handoff to Cagle. Get a few yards, but it'll bring up fourth down, and Phil Campbell going to call a timeout. Coach Barnwell calls the timeout with 6:50 remaining so that he can have a chance to get the football back. He'll get it back. Down 2 scores as we continue our coverage of the Spring Gridiron Challenge on TV 24.
For a high-flying adventure of a lifetime, visit the new Screaming Eagle Zipline Canopy Tour and Aerial Adventure Park at Lake Guntersville State Park. Fly above and through the treetops at heights up to 250 feet on Alabama's largest high-speed zipline course. The Screaming Eagle is a safe and family-friendly adventure course that allows you to explore Lake Guntersville State Park from the point of view of the park's famous bald eagles and enjoy amazing views of Lake Guntersville. Book your aerial adventure tour today by calling 256-886-2517 or book online at LakeGuntersvilleZipline.com.
For years, you've known Miller Sand and Landscape Supply for sand, mulch, and topsoil. Now you need to know about this.
Miller Sand and Landscape Supply invites you to visit their all-new Outdoor Center, located at 345 DeArmonville Drive in Anniston. In the Miller Outdoor Center, you'll find beautiful fountains by Massarelli, a large selection of pottery planters, and yard art to complement any outdoor decorating style. You'll also find outdoor chemicals, fertilizers, potting soil, and more. So whether you need a little or a lot, count on Miller Sand and Landscape Supply to help make your yard the envy of the neighborhood.
So Lynn punts the football away. Phil Campbell will hurry out offensively, and Barnwell brings the football with him, and they're going to try to, again, go back to that hurry up, try to get something on the board here in the last 6 minutes and 43 seconds. So they will hustle to the line. You got Barnwell in the shotgun, got receivers, 4, 2 to the left, 2 to the right, as he'll take it, step straight back. Looking, going deep, got his man down there. It's going to be caught inside the 15-yard line, and that is good for an Extreme Roofing first down. A well-delivered ball from Barnwell. And here comes Phil Campbell with under 6 left.
I'll tell you what, the end of the third quarter and here in the fourth quarter, we are really seeing the arm of Barnwell. They played it really conservative, really tight early on, lots of running plays, but here, once again, double coverage. It's the long play to go for the first down.
I think you realize you got something here.
For sure.
I mean, he has delivered some well-delivered footballs, and that time he saw his man open, put it on him. And now you got Phil Campbell at the 15-yard line as they make their trip into the red zone, sponsored by Blair Exteriors, of course, specializing in windows, roofing, siding, and decks. If you want a free estimate, here's what you need to do. Pick up the phone, call 205-717-9551. And if you mention the game that we're watching right now, that is Phil Campbell and Lynn, you get 20% off your project. Again, that number, 205-717-9551.
Both these schools over in the Winston County area.
26 miles separate the two schools. And now the clock is stopped. 5:40 remaining. Again, the 4 wide out set for Barnwell. Steps back. Got a little pressure. Floats it out there. Got a man. And did he catch it? There's going to be a late push. That'll be pass interference. It does appear on Cagle. But I am impressed with Barnwell's arm. I mean, he's putting it exactly where it needs to be put.
For sure. And it kind of begs the question why they haven't done this since the beginning, because he did one huge pass play early in the game that set up the first touchdown. Ever since then, they haven't had much as far as the offensive aerial attack goes until the end of the third quarter and here in the fourth quarter. But I'm right there with you. This has been an impressive showing of his arm.
The clock continues to roll. You hear some comments from the crowd, Mike. The fans wanting to know why it continues to stay where it is, but again, continues to roll. But that is the rules of the game today. It is a running clock regardless in the second half. And as they will move it down inside the 10 at about the 7.5-yard line. They now stop it with 4:41. And now the clock is saying 0.5. Well, now 5:25. So they are putting time back on the clock for that penalty. And here's Barnwell. He'll drop back now, roll out to the right side. Got pressure, gonna have to float it in the end zone, just throws it away. That time tried to throw it in double coverage. There's nowhere to put that football, so he just safely throws it out of bounds. But again, the clock continues to roll.
Just live to fight another day there, live to fight another down, and Barnwell does just that. And I think not only from a passing perspective, but we're also seeing the leadership emerge here from Barnwell.
Steps back, throws it down the middle, got his man, and cannot hang on. And he took kind of an ugly spill there at the end, and that was Raper, and kind of landed awkwardly in that end zone. They are going to have to check him. As you see right here, the throw down the middle, and he tried to stop, and so they are going to check him out down there in the end zone. Lynn players take a knee, and
well, anytime it's not contact like that,
right,
that's usually the worst thing you see. And you could tell he was grimacing even on the way up to catch the football. And by the way that the Lynn players are reacting,
yeah, they're moving away and giving them plenty of room to check him out. They're looking at looks like the ankle.
Right, yeah, either the right knee or the right ankle.
Looks like they're focused. The lower part of the leg there is from the angle we're seeing. We've seen Raper at a wing back. We've seen him at a wide out. We've seen him at quarterback. We're going to go ahead and take a timeout here. And 18-7 our score. Back with more in just a moment.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Tim Hodges, Fred Wilson, Eli Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
I'll just be a minute.
What you just did with that clutch was so clutch. Just like when you ditched your old credit card and got the America's First credit card with a low interest rate and cash back on purchases.
You see Raper being helped off the field there as he makes his way to the sideline very gingerly. Barnwell back to pass, got pressure, and he will be dropped at about the 10-yard line, and that clock rolls now with 4.5 left. It's going to bring up a 4th down now and goal from about the 10-yard line, as they will go forward here. Obviously, Barnwell back to pass, got pressure, rolls out to the right side, looking for someone, floats it down toward the end zone, got a man down there, and it is going to be picked off, intercepted by Lynn, and pulling it in. Is that Rivera that hauls it in there? And he does. And that will stop the drive with just under 4 minutes left.
So the possession started with an interception, and it ends with one as well.
Well, credit the big lineman up front for putting the pressure on. He just kind of throws it down there hoping for a catch, and Rivera hauls it in. And if he does not, coming all the way across the formation was number 35, Ben Williams. But he does pull it in, and that will pretty much thwart any comeback for Phil Campbell here. 18-7 the score. Lynn with the lead. You'll see Lynn keep it on the ground here. Handoff up the middle. Leg will bring it out across the 25 to the 26. He's a pretty tough runner as well.
He's had a couple of big plays, especially in the short yardage situations, and I think that they will go to him, especially second and third and short, towards in the course of the season. And he's a really good balance because you have Brandon Hill, obviously, and then you have Cagle, who can get you the deep play, but you'll need somebody that every now and again that can get you those 2.5, 3 yards. And he stepped up, and he's been that guy. And then defensively, he's been a good linebacker and defensive lineman as well.
Using up all the play clock here. Hill will take it. Gives it off again up the middle. Out to about the 29-yard line goes leg. But yeah, I think, like you said, a good balance when you got, big playability out of Cagle. Hill has shown he can take it to the house as well, but you always got to have that runner that can get you a yard or two when you need 6 inches. And that time you're seeing the power of leg, and he's able to cash it forward. Now brings up a 3rd down, about a half yard. I'd be surprised if anyone touches it but number 8 right here. And he will get the call. He'll get the 1st down. Brings it out to about the 33-yard line. Now you're making sure that everybody gets in the ball game here in the latter stages. About 90 seconds left. So it's 1st down and 10. And they'll take their sweet time right here. Try to wind things up after another one of those Extreme Roofing 1st down runs by leg. This time they'll hand it on the end around, and that's going to be Rivera. And he will spin down to about the 40-yard line. Good run in his own right.
Talked about all the playmakers, and Lynn's had a really spectacular offensive line as well today. Skylar Cheatham and Evan Lamb, 66, Nicholas Tedwell, Stephen Wethington, and Charles Heck have done a really fine job up front for this unit. And as much as they like to run out of that, whether it's an I formation, whether they have a wingback in the backfield, that offensive line has done a really fine job today against Phil Campbell.
Once again, Hill bobbles it, hands it off on the left side, and tripped up as he turns it upfield is Jason Gunn. And that will be the final play of the ball game there. Lynn is going to get the 11-point victory over Phil Campbell as they exploded early. And again, not a lot of players on that sideline, but Gerhardt, some pretty talented guys in that red and white uniform.
For sure, lots to look forward to for Lynn. We talked a minute ago about how much they've improved over the last couple of years, and last year knocked on the door of the playoffs, just outside of it, about 1 game away, and this will go a long way to their playoff aspirations starting next season. And they play in a really, really tough region with the likes of South Lamar and Pickens County, Hubbardsville, and Marion County. We'll find out how they do going forward.
Well, man, it has been a great day here at Burgess-Snow Field. Some great football action, Gerhardt, as we have seen a lot of turnovers. We've seen a lot of big plays, but you also see that there's some talent coming in the state of Alabama here in the fall of 2019.
Oh, for sure. For Samuel Elmore, for Central Clay County, Sparkman and Gardendale, Springville, Dora, and the final 2 teams you saw today here with Phil Campbell and Lynn. This has been a spectacular show of football all the way from 1A to 7A.
As you look at the screen now, you see the great work of a great crew here on a Saturday. They have done a phenomenal job. Hats off to all you guys braving the heat and bringing some awesome plays for everyone to see. We appreciate it. For Gerhardt Methengani, I'm Tommy Wood saying so long from the Gridiron Challenge right here on TV 24.
Yourself just a little bit further when you think you've done enough. It's time to shine.